The reasons that will make me go out of my marriage will be my own reasons, other than cheating. There are other reasons that I can go out of my marriage for, other than cheating. The other big reason that I'll go out of my marriage is when my husband says, Kelo, and I've said this, I remember, I said, ke monga ditaba tlo ntšhanka mo le ena ampotsa re sesi ba sa rena ema mo fologa mo a ke na choice so tlo ke fologe. And be rest assured, when I step out, whether because of my reason or my husband's reasons, I will cry. Give me time to cry because I'll be hurting. I will cry and I'll come back and tell you that mukonu tša pasi ema mo or ke emišitše pasi mo because of 1 2 3 basadi ba resho nna ke a palelwa ke paletšwe. Don't think that I'm not going to come back here and explain, but I won't just come and explain myself because I'll still be hating. I have to go through it. And don't ever think for a day in my life I'll come here and do divorce content. I believe in marriage. That's why I'm married. I believe in marriage. I'll never do divorce bitter content. Nah. So please save this video. It will help you to save this video, so that you follow and this is me giving you a permission now going forward. So guys, one thing you need to understand about promise is that I will forever, and I mean forever, whether I talk about it or I don't talk about it, be my husband this, my husband that, I'll forever believe in marriage. And this is simply because my roots, I come from a family, you know, I come from my mom and my dad who's been married since 85 for 39 years, you know, and that's all I know. I will forever believe in marriage. I'll forever believe in husbands, in wives, in marriage, like in as a whole, you know. But let me tell you, the promise that has been saying my husband this, my husband that 3 years ago, she has evolved. You know, if there's one thing, I won't just say the same thing, even though I'm seeing that I'm evolving as a person. As a wife, being 100% dependent on my husband was the most dangerous thing I could have ever done. As a mother, you know. So my message now has evolved to, you know what, yes, we are in our marriages, yes, we still want to build our families, or other people are even going out of their marriages, and it's okay. Just make sure that you can, like the promise now, she can be able to just pick up her children and go wherever and start a new life. The promise then could not do that. Should another corona comes back, you know, I always say that I need a rematch with corona. It's okay. Some of us, if we get divorces, we're going to get married again. Rest assured. We're going to get married again and still husband this, husband that, and still believe in marriage, you know. But for now, I just want to say my message has evolved. And I think maybe that's just a long-awaited chat that we had to have.
There's a vendor saying that says, Nisango se mangwena, nisatuwela mlambo. Which means don't papa and be out there swearing at the crocodile before you cross the river, because you still have a river to cross. What if that crocodile will now find in the river and you're no match? There's this content creator who built a brand around her marriage, which, okay, great, that's what you choose. But she also built it around her husband, which, okay, that's what you want. The issue with this content creator was that she would always try put down divorced women. She would always try put down divorced women. And no matter how much we said, Lala, no woman gets married to get divorced. I'm a divorcee myself. I didn't get married to get divorced. I sham girl nje. She was the advocate of ex-husbands. I'm here to tell you, girl is divorced. She's just not telling you people. Not only she's divorced, Inzolza is now talking. And let me tell you something. That she's about to find out in the most rudest way. You do not divorce the man you married. You do not, Shem. You do not divorce a man. The man. You divorce a monster that you have never met. You are even also shocked what is going on. But when I tell you guys, Hori, an exclusive will be dropping on YouTube probably tomorrow. So, but one thing I can say, you're not welcome in the divorce club. After all the rubbish you spoke about us, I don't care if there's a divorce women club. Personally, I'm not inviting you. I mean, I'm not welcoming you in this gang. I am not. When I go out there and be great, with your marriage that has now ended. And I know there are people that will say, oh no, Owami, when you are evil if you think I'm evil, that's fine. Like the rubbish this girl has done and the way that she used to talk about divorced women and talk about them so low, it's absolutely crazy. And now I realize, oh, you stopped. She stopped because she's been separated from her husband for a very long time. And when I say she's divorced, I'm not talking about she's going through a divorce. She is a divorced woman. Owami, she's the very same thing that she used to come here on the internet and swear at and talk down upon and act like as wives there was something more that we could have done to save these marriages. Yet she couldn't even save her own.
Love is very risky, and the most painful lesson often comes from those we loved the loudest. So a couple of days ago, and it's still trending right now, I saw a lot of videos about Promise and Owami's issue unfolding. And honestly, if someone once celebrated your downfall, your divorce, and even went as far as interviewing your ex-husband just to embarrass you by exposing all the things you supposedly didn't do as a woman when you were still married to that person, how would you feel? What good could come from that? The interview Promise did with Owami's ex-husband was honestly embarrassing. But of course, Promise had her reasons for doing it. Let's not forget this happened around 2023 when Owami was going through her divorce. She left her husband because of cheating. And we have all heard and we know that Promise says more than once that cheating alone wouldn't be a deal breaker for her. She said she would leave her husband for other reasons, but not cheating. I also saw someone say they didn't understand why Promise interviewed Owami's ex. And honestly, I get it. For content, yes, that's a given. But it also gave Big Guy a chance to finally say his side of the story. Owami was the one on the speaking for the longest time, and he had not really had a platform to speak. So in that sense, the interview had some relevance. And of course, we won't pretend like there was no bad blood between Owami and Promise. There definitely was tension. The intention behind the interview might have been messy, but we can't take away the fact that Promise did that interview very well. The content from it wasn't nice to hear, especially not for Owami, but the structure and the execution of it were done properly. People picked up that Big Guy was full of himself. He didn't admit to any wrong, but let's be honest, no one ever thinks they are the problem. It's like that both parties played a role in what went wrong. Owami wasn't perfect to Big Guy either. But the key point here is that she had the platform to speak and defend herself, and he didn't until the interview. But fast forward to now in 2025, it's flipped. Now Promise is the one allegedly facing a divorce, and Owami is reacting. And honestly, everyone has the right to respond to disrespect in the way they see fit. Maybe it's petty, maybe it's emotional, maybe it's healing, but it's her story, her pain, and her choice. With that said, I feel like there's a difference between expressing your truth and publicly celebrating someone else's downfall, because while what Promise did back then wasn't right, what Owami is doing now is not exactly better. It's almost the same behavior in reverse. I thought Owami was going to take the higher road, but at this point it's clear she is hurt and she is responding with the same energy she was once received. But we need to ask, does responding in the same way really help? Or does it just keep the circle going? One thing I will say about Promise, no matter what happened, she loved her husband very loudly. Whether you liked her or not, she stood by her man proudly, and that's something I respected. Even though right now it is alleged that she was abusive in the relationship, but we'll never know until one of them come out to speak about it. And Promise did say that she will come out and let everybody know if she ever gets to divorce, but she said she needs time to heal. So right now, if she's really going through a divorce, it means she's in the process of healing, in process of empowering herself financially, making sure that she's in a better space. Divorce is not a child's play. Divorce can rock you. Divorce can rock your whole world, because what you are used to is no longer the same. Now everything has to change. That life that you was used to, having a man around, is no longer there. It's no longer there. Whatever that happened, obviously it was not pretty, because at the end of the day, if you find people divorcing, they are tired. of whatever that was happening.
But I was just thinking about it, or I cannot wait. I cannot wait to apologize, Lena, after I've done the most wrongest, deepest, hurting things. I cannot wait to apologize, and I cannot wait for you guys to forgive me. All in the name of you be the bigger person and doing the right thing. All in the name of heal people. All in the name of anything. Lena, do apologize. I'm about to. I will apologize, and you will see that apology, but not now. Let me enjoy this and continue hurting. And most gatas are even gonna be coming because Bagit, I hear there was a lot of abuse. That man suffered, guys. Justice for that man.
Owami is now celebrating the divorce, allegedly the divorce of Promise. While she hasn't really name dropped anyone directly, it's clear she was referring to her, because if you followed the story from where it started till now, you know that she's talking about Promise. But of course, allegedly, right? From what we know, the only person she had conflict with when it comes to her husband or ex-husband was Promise and Lean. And this was all because Big Guy was trying to get his story out there, wanted people to know exactly what happened in his marriage, because Owami was talking on her platform. Now back to Promise. Yes, Owami had the right to celebrate, but sometimes I think it's more powerful when others celebrate on your behalf. When Karma does his thing and people noticed without you having to say a word, it speaks volumes. I know that she says she will apologize when she's ready, but for now, we must let her be. But now the roles have reversed. Promise laughed at Owami back then, and now Owami is laughing at Promise. It's a fair game, but part of me still feels conflicted, because on one hand, it feels justified, but on the other hand, I still believe we shouldn't laugh at someone else's downfall, even if they did it to us first. Revenge for revenge doesn't heal anything. Life is unpredictable. Today it's them, but tomorrow it could be you again. Even Owami is not exempt from future losses. And sometimes life humbles us when we least expect it. It's a very painful experience, no matter who you are. And yes, I understand why Owami is reacting this way. But what Promise did back then, interviewing her ex and putting out all those messy details, is not really all that different from what Owami is doing right now. Neither one comes out looking like a bigger person. I really thought Owami would take the higher road, but now she is mirroring the very thing Promise did to her, and we are just watching the circle repeat itself. But let's be honest, you don't build credibility or earn respect by profiting off someone else's pain. Life is not about saying, because I suffered, I want you to suffer too. That mindset doesn't lead to peace, it just invites more pain. So the question is, are we going to keep going in circles, laughing at each other's pain? Or can someone finally say, you hurt me, but I won't be like you. I won't celebrate your pain. I will choose to be better. But regardless of everything, one thing I admire about Promise, whether you liked it or not, was that she loved her husband loudly and proudly. And I respected that. Even though loving someone publicly can sometimes make you look like a fool later, it doesn't mean that love wasn't real. It just means life took a turn. Sometimes we love with our full chest, not knowing how it will end. But if we start loving cautiously, one half-heartedly, in case we get disappointed, then that's not love, that's fear. And that's not how life or love should work. Instead, we should be able to say, I'm here now. I love this person. If it ends in tears, fine. At least I know I gave real love. And also, let's not forget, everyone has the right to respond to disrespect however they see fit. Owami is not wrong for reacting the way she is now, because I, for one, I would never ever take cheating lightly. I would leave a marriage just because of cheating. And what I tolerate, the next person might not tolerate. So I feel like at the end of the day, we must never judge each other on the choices that we make in our lives. If it works for me, if it doesn't work for me, let me live my life the best way that I know how. Hurt looks different on everyone, because at the end of the day, I'm going to repeat what I said at the beginning. Love is risky, and the most painful lesson often comes from those we loved the loudest. Until the next time, please do not forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Peace.